Hi there, I am Alliluyeva and this is History for Adults. Kids, get off the screens. We are talking sex here. Today we will talk about closeted gays. Not all of them, just one. But the one who is, damn him.
We will stand behind, not in the front, behind.
Not about this one, although if mentioned.
Oops, let it be.
So we'll talk about his idol Stalin. Kremlin's dwarf set off to 2021 trying to rewrite history. In January, still in a New Year's hangover, he ordered to create the law prohibiting forever and ever to compare Hitler with Stalin, and the Soviet Union with the Third Reich.
Walking the plank, the Soviet Union and the Nazi Germany is the utmost cynicism.
Walk the plank? What kind of saying is that?
Walking the plank.
Once pirates had this kind of punishment. Walking off the plank.
1, 2, push and splash!
I think it would be quite awesome to walk Hitler and Stalin off such a plank. And this walk would be useful for Putin as well.
Only after the election.
Speaking of comparisons, too late to look for a cat in the dark room. Hitler and Stalin have been compared starting from the 30s of the last century. They were too much of the copycats of each other. Western media depicted them as a gay couple to mock them. This war puts into one bed some weird couples, right, Conrad? It's an example of double sarcasm. First, two tyrants. One promised to fight communism, the other one, fascism all their lives, all of a sudden passionately fall in love.
Well, hello, little Hitler.
Second, they actively, even demonstratively, fought gay people. And both looked like idiots. Thus, such comparison made them feel even twice more offended. In the first years of its existence, the Nazi Party had no official position on homosexuality. In 1928, Hitler decided to change this slip-up and declared gay people to be the enemies of the state. They, to his mind, deprived the Germans of masculinity. He was immediately mocked by Social Democrats. They make it clear to everyone in the country that Adolf's closest ally Ernst RHM is a proactive and open gay who is a regular at gay clubs and adopts on a mass scale his numerous lovers to the Nazi Party's militia, the Sturmabteilung. Adolf became the laughingstock of the opposition media, and was himself suspected in love inclinations towards guys.
I am gay, 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 I know green cooks. I am super gay, I know green cooks.
There were grounds for such suspicions. He wasn't officially married, he was surrounded by men, his female lovers were kept secret. That looked fishy. The rumors were spread not only by yellow press but also by respectable organizations. At the times of WW2, American intelligence made serious claims and reported to Roosevelt that Hitler was gay and a sadomasochist.
Myself, I'll to me.
The Führer got really offended. RHM was executed, Social Democrats prohibited, and tens of thousands gay people were sent to prisons and concentration camps.
For homosexuality or...
The word Putin forgot his buggery. This is the awkward way male homosexuality was called in the Soviet criminal law. In the criminal code of other Soviet republics there also existed a term pederasty. These are what same-sex relationships were called in the beginning of the 20th century. Then, it was considered a sexual deviation. Criminal code was the source of how the word itself and its derivatives entered the spoken language of USSR citizens. Its meaning got wider though. This is what we can read in the classical oeuvre, the Encyclopedia of Our Ukrainian Studies by Alexander Kryvenko and Volodymyr Pavliev. In former Soviet countries, the term pedras is an insult and is very loosely connected to the homosexual term pedrast. The derivatives of the word such as pedar, pedic, pedrila, pidracina, all meaning the variations of English faggot, are widely used by people living on these territories, even among those who know nothing about homosexuals or what they want. However, Soviet state-approved homophobia didn't start as the Hitler's one. Moreover, after Soviet Revolution, Bolsheviks revoked the Russian Empire law that required punishment for homosexuality. Gay clubs began to appear all around Russia. This is the picture of Petrograd gay club members in the beginning of the 20s. Gay people were quite numerous in the Bolshevik government. Thus, Georgy Chikrin, the first USSR People's Commissar for Foreign Affairs, was open about his sexual preferences. Nikolai Bukharin, member of the Politburo, was also considered gay. Lenin called him the party's favorite and Stalin, simply Bukharchik. Bukharchik was a man of quite wide worldviews. Not only he was interested in men, but also in underage girls.
Stalin sends the scandalous Bukharin on business trip to Paris with his new 16-year-old wife. A 47-year-old passionate Bolshevik Bukharin couldn't wait until she comes of age.
This all lasts until repressions become massive and Stalin needs more reasons to send people to camps. So, tolerance and inclusiveness in the USSR come to an end in 1934. Criminal codes of all Soviet republics now have the article on the buggery as criminal offense. The purpose of this is hard to grasp if you read them. Against buggery not in the narrow sense of the term, but against buggery as an antisocial manifestation of sexual relationships among men no matter which forms it takes. According to this wording of no matter which forms, anyone could be imprisoned, and was imprisoned. Creative class people, soldiers, workers, and peasants.
Gaiety is the most outstanding feature of the Soviet Union.
Later, though, some embarrassment happened. As the time came to execute all the participants of the Great Purge, it turned out that the most passionate fighter against gays, head of the NKVD, Nikolai Yezhov, turned out to be gay. Buggery was the only incrimination he confessed to in court.
A grip of steel in the NKVD, Nikolai Ivanovich Yezhov was himself a proactive gay man, though this didn't prevent him from having contacts with women.
By the way, Yezhov was called a bloody dwarf behind his back. Reminds you of someone, right?
Well, you know what I mean.
That homosexual embarrassment didn't stop the repression machine. In general, almost 250,000 people were imprisoned for sodomy, buggery. It's 5 times more than in the Nazi Germany. Yezhov was executed, as well as the party's favorite Bukharchik. The latter, though, tried to save himself in an extraordinary manner. At one of the Politburo meetings, which was going to be one of the last ones for him, he said, "I cannot say that I loved Stalin very much in 1928, but now I must say I love him with all my heart." In his letter to Stalin, he confessed, "In the summer of 1928, I was at your place and you asked me, you know why I befriended you? You are not capable of cheating." And I said yes. At the same time I was visiting Kamenov, first date. What was he talking about? Was it politics or something else? Does it mean that Stalin should also have been sent to GULAG for sodomy?
Dad, can one be a faggot and a cannibal at the same time? Mikita, impossible.
The official historical version claims Stalin was married 2 times, had at least 3 children. He liked underage girls like Bukharchik. Before revolution, in exile, he molested a 14-year-old peasant girl. With his future wife Alliluyeva he started living together when she was still 15. And this is only the tip of the iceberg.
Don't you applause yet? You don't know what I am about to say.
What could be seen even just scratching the surface. Stalin loved making his allies dance and watch them. He also kissed men on the mouth. Moreover, he was pleased with love confessions. No, not the ones in professionalism, in love. Like that one from Bukharchik.
Representatives of the free peoples of the Soviet Union brought here passionate feelings of love, loyalty, and gratefulness to Comrade Stalin.
Some modern Russian biographies of the tyrant contain weird abstracts, such as this one.
Stalin loved Levinevsky, though it was more about pragmatism rather than feelings.
It is difficult to say what was on his mind for real, but one can make a try using the materials provided by Nikolai Vlasik, head of Stalin's personal security. The latter had an extraordinary hobby. He collected different trash after Stalin, like messages, drawings, postcards with Stalin's writings. After Stalin's death, Vlasik was arrested, and the collection was expropriated. Some 16 drawings were made public after all, and they are quite impressive. Turns out the father of nations and the best friend of sportsmen collected sketches by famous artists such as Repin or Surikov. But not any of them, just those that depicted naked men. He collected them and wrote kind of funny comments on them, with his favorite blue pencil, of course. Something like this. Simply scared of the sun. Coward. Don't sit with your naked ass on the stones. Join the Komsomol or Rabfuk. You, Tamarite, go study instead of being a slacker. One brooding idiot is worse than 10 enemies. In some models, Stalin recognized the men he knew, either living or murdered by him, and he was writing like addressing them. Redhead bastard Radek. If you hadn't pissed in the wine, you would be alive now. It's about the Secretary of Comintern Karl Radek, executed by Stalin's order. Stalin called this model Georgy Plekhanov. He had been dead by that time. He was also a socialist who confronted October Revolution and the civil war that followed. Writing reads, "Why do you call back? Coward and Lishenets." At Stalin's times, Lishenets, the deprivated, was a person who was deprived of civil and mobility rights. In this photo, the tyrant recognizes his ally, the formal head of the state, Mikhail Kalinin. Stalin writes, "Why so thin, Mikhail Ivanovich? Working. Masturbation is not a job. Do some Marxism." Toilet humor. These are worse. Like this one. One should work, not jerk off. Stalin accused this teenager of being a slacker. "We have tons of slackers like you, philo sucker." Yes, this is it, philo sucker. Or this one, "Idiot. You don't remember what to do." Seriously, he is hinting at the fact that one model should fuck the other one while he is asleep. Mwah. Eyewitnesses claim that at the meetings Stalin used to draw or doodle. After the meetings, Stalin's secretary Poskryobyshev collected the doodles and destroyed them. One drawing survived though. This is it, and it's about People's Commissariat on Finances purge. Nikolai Bryukhanov, acting Narcom, is the hanged man. A note went along with the drawing. To all members of the Politburo, Bryukhanov, for all his past, present, and future sins, should be hanged by his balls. If they withstand, he should be announced innocent, like acquitted in court. If they fall apart, he should be drowned in a river. To my mind, it's not funny and it's not humor. This is a stupid and brutal bullying of an all-powerful tyrant of his slaves and ass-lickers. And this was done demonstratively. The drawing together with the note was shown to all the people at the meeting and was saved by the Politburo Technical Secretary Georgy Malenkov. Bryukhanov was executed soon after, and nobody knows what tortures he had to go through. Stalin was also interested in cinematography. He himself looked through and approved the new movies. He even read the scripts and changed the shooting process. Right before the WW2, he ordered to shoot a movie about himself. Himself in the form of Tsar Ivan the Terrible. This is how the Tsar is presented in the opening scenes. Stalin himself read the script, watched the shooting material, and sent the movie to the cinemas. It became a sensation in the West, seen as the first Soviet homoerotic movie. everything speaks for itself. This is not an offended girl with a playfully naked shoulder, this is a young czar.
Неизвестно, от кого она тобою ощенила. Сучье племя.
When crowned, he becomes a 2-meter-high handsome man with a liner under his eyes.
Young Tsar crowning.
When his wife perishes, she is replaced with a faithful friend by his side.
Hound who laments in Tsar's will.
When the Tsar celebrates victory over the numerous traitors, his favorite friend dances dressed in a female sarafan, long trapezoidal faux Russian dress. Does Putin know about all this? Of course. And probably even more than we would find in open sources.
We know Stalin the way we didn't know him before.
Nevertheless, he is pushing race Stalinization of modern Russia. They build monuments to the tyrant and praise him on TV. The people, as usually, give their support. This is how the bandrupfit mocks the process.
Let all the fucking shit come back. 5-year plan on a 3-day track. Flags, the marching, Lenin's death. Kick some democratic asses. Give us Stalin. Give him back Gopniks tired of fucking slack. Don't let them fuck us. Raise the master from under the grass.
It all is coming back. With mass repressions, with the hunting down the enemies of the state. Foreign agents and homosexuals in the first place. And only some people say that they have seen it before.
Artemy Troitsky, Russian journalist, a dissident, and state homophobia that seems to be introduced by such wordings as a state policy is the symptom that the country is run by pederacies, faggots.
This is what the Russian dissident thinks. We do not hint at anything, apart from the fact that history tends to repeat itself, but it never seems to teach anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am gay, I like long, big cocks. I am a super gay, I like long, big cocks.
Thank you for your attention and I hope for your support.
Побачимося через тиждень.